Welcome back to another episode of Titanium Man Garage. And if you watched my video about the Polaris Sportsman 500, the 98 I was working on, I had some wiring issues, and when I turned the ignition switch to the off position, it would not shut off. So the previous owner had put a aftermarket key switch in, and it actually overturned. And I had read in a forum that if you had issues with your key switch, you could turn it back slowly. Sometimes the contacts won't make contact with the ground and it won't kill it. So it's one thing you need to keep in mind. I'm going to show you the ends of this. So in this case, your brown goes to ground. But when you turn the key, it activates the brown and the black. And that is what kills your motor. Kind of like the old lawnmowers with the little metal tab that went over the spark plug when you touched it. It grounded it out. Well, I'm going to go over that and try to explain to you guys the best I can. I'm not at all a wiring person. I can read some schematics. I'm just going to try to explain to you what I found and simplify things to you guys. So as you can see here, this looks like a big old rat's nest. Don't let that scare you too much if everything's labeled, you know, like you got your blue and your red, your black. This is your ground right here. Your brown is ground. This bar right here, oops, you can't really see. This bar right here that goes straight down is your power. So I'm going to try to explain how this all works. So unless you know how to read something like this, which I kind of can read it, but without actually looking at the wheeler, it stumps me a little bit. I traced the wires and figured out a couple things. And what I did was I simplified it on a piece of paper. So hopefully you guys can see this. I know it probably looks just as scary as the rat's nest I just showed you, but so I'm going to start with the power first and show you how that all works, and then show you the grounds. Now what happened with this particular four-wheeler was the ground, this ground bar right here, wasn't grounding out properly, and it fried the CDI, the stator, and the voltage regulator, which I have down here. Don't really have any wires going to that one, but that's going to not be important. So here's how it works. Power comes in from your battery. It goes up into an alternative red. So when you look at your circuit board, there's red here and there's red here. So this is constant power. When you switch the key on, when you do other things, the key switch is on, then this gets hot. This isn't hot all the time. This is hot all the time. So from power to here, then it goes right up to the key switch. Once you turn the key on, power comes back down to here. It's red and black wire. And there's another little two tabs where those two connect into, they join. And this runs up to the kill switch. So if you start having issues where you can't shut something off, your Sportsman will not shut off. Start at the key switch first. That's where the power comes in first. And then if that doesn't work, go to the kill switch, and then just keep following your wires down. So red stops there. Now hang on, I want to show you something. I'm getting kind of sidetracked. I was actually curious how the key switch worked, and what I read in a forum, I actually tore this apart. Somebody had said that you should turn the key slow. Well, I wanted to know why. So I took it apart, and I got this. Let's see if I can put this up where you guys can see it. And if you look here, this is the inside. So when this turns, it turns that metal clip. See, it turns that metal clip into those positions. So your first two positions are black and brown. So when you turn the key off, the ground going to your board is here, and then it flops over and goes to your black. And like I said, with the whole lawnmower, with the metal tab to the spark plug, once that's in that position, it adds, if you look on here, this is the alternative black. This should not be grounded at all. In my previous video, I said this needed to be grounded. I was wrong. So what happens is when you turn this, it activates this as a ground. When it's running, this isn't grounded out. There's 12 volts isn't going to it while it's running. When I turn the key off, if I run on the voltage meter, if I put the black wire here and the red wire here, it'll show 12 volts. So more or less when you turn the key, that's what makes it act like that lawnmower with the clip over the spark plug. So this is a constant ground until that's activated, and then it'll act like a ground, shut everything down. And the same with your kill switch, it does the same thing. So when you flip the switch, you got your brown and your black, your brown and your black, and that does the same thing. So this is an alternative ground. So here, let me try to show you this. So I have brown on the key switch, which comes up to here. This is your ground. And same thing, when you flip the switch, it activates the black wire, comes into here, and makes this a ground. When the switch is flipped off, it's not grounded anymore. So I'm hoping that's making sense to you guys. And then also you got the black wire coming up from the CDI that goes to that as well. So when you turn either the key switch or the kill switch, it kills the CDI, the rectifier, and that's the CDI is also grounded to the frame, and then that kills the power to stop your spark and shuts the engine off. So I'm going to leave this here for a second. I hope you guys make sense of what I'm trying to say. I'm not an electrician by all means. I just traced all the wires and showed you where everything went. If you follow my arrows, you can kind of see where everything goes. But now let me show you on the engine, or let me show you on the Sportsman itself. So right here, this is all ground. This is your brown, your ground. See how corroded that is? I think the circuit board is not grounding out because everything fried on this unit. So what I ended up doing was, here, let me show you. Took my key switch. Here's the brown. I actually grounded all the browns. I know they're red wires, but they plug into brown. Like here. This is my main ground coming in from the stator. I want to make sure that was grounded. So I basically bypassed this all and I grounded everything right here. And when I did that, that went to my black wires, which is right here. This is the 6-prong thing, CDI, the rectifier. When I turn the key to the off position, this finally grounds that out, or the kill switch, which is the black wire over here. I flip the switch, and then it's constant ground. If I turn the key to the on position or the kill switch to the run position, this is no longer grounded anymore. So I hope that's all making sense to you. I did end up having to replace the CDI again. The last one I swapped, it turned out I had a one spark, no spark issue. So I replaced the CDI. I got good spark, but it wouldn't shut it down. So like I said, I spent probably a good 6-7 hours tracing wires. Like I said, it all turned out to be this ground strip. Let me show you. I can probably fire it up for you and show you how it works. I still got my jump pack on here. Turn that on. So now when I turn the key, see the light's on for neutral. If I turn it off, it goes off. Same with the kill switch. If I touch the kill switch up here, goes out. Let me fire this bad boy up. Now I turn the key, she goes off. And once again, back to this the switch. When you turn the key to the off position, it goes to those two, and that activates your brown ground to your black, and that shuts off the CDI and shuts off the spark and shuts down your motor. So what I said earlier, when some guy was saying, well, turn your key slowly, sometimes this wears out, or these prongs get dirty, corroded, and they don't make contact with the black wire that goes here. Then it won't shut off. So they say turn it slowly so that it makes contact, and then it should work. And then you know it's your key switch, or possibly your kill switch if your kill switch is corroded. All said and done, I was glad I had a parts machine, because I was able to swap out parts. I did grab a different kill switch. That's why you see wires hanging everywhere. I ordered a key switch on eBay. I used one. It wasn't in perfect shape, but it does work. And I changed all my grounds everywhere. The ground for the CDI box goes here. It didn't reach up there where I had it in the previous video, the new one. And the reason I grounded all these out up here is because when they were plugged into here, it did show, like when I held my test light, my voltage meter from here to something hot, it actually had a reading of 12 volts. But some of these were not heavily grounded. It wasn't enough ground to shut the power down. So that's why I went this route. It's grounded directly to the frame, no guesswork. Now I just got to clean this all up and make it all nice and pretty. Straighten it up. So yeah, guys, like I said, yeah, if you shoot me any questions, I might not have an answer. I'm just kind of going along, following the wires, and you know, same thing with the rectifier down here, or I should say voltage regulator, however, whatever you want to call it. So it charges the battery, and it also meters how much voltage is coming out. So if this is bad, like mine was fried. So these wires were fried. It wasn't putting out enough voltage. And like I said, basically the whole thing was a ground issue. So when it wasn't grounded out right, it started frying everything. This was all melted. My CDI fried, the stator fried. I was fortunate enough to have a parts Sportsman laying around. So all I got into this now is a bunch of time, the price of the stator, and the key switch. And I just happened to have another CDI box that I had got from a buddy of mine. So yeah, I was sitting good that way. Otherwise, if you do, this is another warning I want to tell you guys about. I've stated this in a couple of questions on my videos. If you do buy CDI boxes or any electronics, try to stay away from the Amazon Chinese crap, because they don't last long. I've had installed one CDI that actually, just so you guys know, this is the CDI. I've had one CDI box I installed. It didn't last 10 minutes and it fried. So if you can buy used Polaris or new Polaris, I know new Polaris parts are expensive, but if you can find somebody parting one out, I do that quite a bit. Everybody asks where I get my parts from. Anything electronic, I try to stay with Polaris. If I don't want to spend the big dough, then I find a guy parting them out somewhere. I'm in Wisconsin, and there's actually quite a few guys that part out ATVs. So if you're from out of state, just go on Craigslist or Facebook marketplace, you'll find somebody. I know probably about 4 of the guys. So once again, I hope this little video helped. This actually goes out to my buddy Greg. He wanted me to make a video of wiring and where things go, and like I said, this was a new one for me. I thought this was a constant ground, and it doesn't ground out until you turn a switch. So hope you like this long video and my, I don't want to say quick tip because wasn't a quick tip of the day. Other than that, thanks for watching, and like always, till next time.